Leah loved exploring with her dogs Bastien and Boudreaux. One day they stumbled upon something amazing. It was a glowing orb, nestled under an oak tree. It pulsed with a strange energy. Leah cautiously touched the orb. Images flashed before her eyes. They were planets. Leah gasped. She knew this orb was special. It was a portal. She grabbed Bastien's leash and Boudreaux's collar. "This is going to be awesome, boys," she exclaimed. They were ready for an adventure. Bastien barked excitedly, his tail wagging furiously. Boudreaux, ever the calmer one, let out a happy whimper. Leah laughed. Her furry companions were always up for anything, especially if it involved exploring. The orb pulsed again, brighter this time. An image solidified within its swirling depths. It was a planet. It shimmered with a warm, inviting glow. Leah knew instantly. It was Venus. "Venus! Here we come!" she shouted, her heart pounding with excitement. The orb emitted a beam of light, enveloping Leah and the dogs. They braced themselves. The world around them dissolved into a dizzying swirl of colors. Leah held tight to Bastien and Boudreaux. She couldn't help but giggle nervously. This was going to be one wild ride. The swirling stopped abruptly. Leah opened her eyes, blinking against the bright light. They had arrived. Venus awaited them. Leah, Bastien and Boudreaux found themselves in Leah's backyard, but something was different. Their usual red wagon had transformed. It now sported shiny metal plates and glowing buttons. "Whoa!" Leah exclaimed, her eyes wide with wonder. This was no ordinary wagon anymore. This was a spaceship. She examined the control panel, filled with levers and buttons. Leah grinned. This was going to be fun. Bastien sniffed at the spaceship's shiny exterior, his tail wagging excitedly. Boudreaux barked, eager to climb aboard. "All right, boys, let's get you strapped in," Leah chuckled, guiding them into the spacious cabin. She secured them in their special seats, complete with doggy seatbelts. Leah adjusted her goggles and grasped the control stick. "Ready for liftoff," she announced. With a surge of energy, the spaceship hummed to life. They shot upwards, leaving Earth behind. Leah steered them towards the shimmering silhouette of Venus. "Next stop, Venus!" she yelled, her voice filled with exhilaration. Bastien barked excitedly, his nose pressed against the window. Boudreaux, ever cautious, whined softly, but his tail wagged, betraying his excitement. Leah grinned. They were on their way to an adventure of a lifetime. The journey to Venus was anything but boring. They encountered a mischievous space squirrel with glowing fur. It zipped around their spaceship, leaving a trail of sparkling dust. "What is that?" Leah exclaimed, her eyes wide with surprise. The space squirrel chittered at them, its tiny paws tapping against the window. Bastien barked playfully, his tail wagging furiously. Boudreaux, however, grumbled, clearly unimpressed by the interruption. The space squirrel, as if understanding Boudreaux's disapproval, stuck its tongue out at him. Leah giggled. "You're a cheeky one, aren't you?" she said to the space squirrel. It responded by doing a flip in midair, showering the spaceship in more sparkling dust. Bastien barked again, this time in amusement. Leah, though initially startled, found herself laughing. "This is the most bizarre thing ever," she exclaimed, shaking her head. The space squirrel seemed to enjoy their company. It continued to zoom around their spaceship, performing aerial acrobatics. Bastien, completely captivated, watched with wide eyes. Even Boudreaux couldn't help but crack a small smile. Their journey to Venus was off to a hilarious start. As they approached Venus, Leah gasped. The planet shimmered like a giant gemstone. It was even more beautiful up close. They landed their spaceship on a surface that sparkled like 1,000 diamonds. "Wow!" Leah breathed, stepping out onto the crystalline ground. It crunched softly beneath her feet. The air smelled like marshmallows. Bastien sneezed, his sensitive nose twitching at the sweet scent. Boudreaux, ever the gourmand, licked his lips. Leah laughed. "It smells delicious, but I don't think we can eat the air, boys," she said. The landscape was like nothing Leah had ever seen before. Crystalline plants swayed gently in the breeze, their leaves shimmering with all the colors of the rainbow. Strange, beautiful birds with wings of light soared through the sky. Leah, Bastien and Boudreaux ventured further into this wondrous world, their eyes wide with wonder. Every step they took led to a new discovery. A giant flower unfurled its petals, revealing a glowing orb within. A waterfall cascaded down a cliff, its water a shimmering cascade of liquid crystals. Venus was a world of magic and wonder, and Leah, Bastien and Boudreaux were ready to explore it all. Section 5. The Luminos and the Eternal Flame. They soon encountered the planet's inhabitants, the Luminos. They looked like humanoid lizards with shimmering scales and large, intelligent eyes. "Greetings," a Luminos with emerald scales said. "We are the guardians of Venus," Leah smiled. "I'm Leah, and these are my dogs, Bastien and Boudreaux." Bastien wagged his tail politely. Boudreaux barked a friendly greeting. The Luminos explained that their planet faced a problem. The eternal flame, the source of Venus's light and warmth, was fading. "Without it, our planet will plunge into darkness," a Luminous with sapphire scales said, his voice filled with worry. Leah's heart went out to them. "We want to help," she declared. The Luminos looked at each other, hope flickering in their eyes. "The eternal flame is located atop Mount Ignis, the tallest volcano on Venus," the emerald-scaled Luminos explained. "The journey is fraught with peril." Leah nodded, determined. "We're not afraid of a little danger," she said, her hand resting on Bastien's head. Boudreaux barked in agreement, ready for a challenge. The Luminos smiled. "Thank you, brave Leah. Your help is greatly appreciated," and so their quest to relight the eternal flame began. Section 6. The Treacherous Journey. The journey to Mount Ignis was fraught with danger. They crossed molten rivers on rafts made of heat-resistant crystal. Mischievous fire sprites danced around them, their laughter echoing through the air. Bastien, always eager to play, chased after them, barking playfully. Boudreaux, ever cautious, kept a watchful eye on the fiery creatures. Leah, using her quick thinking and resourcefulness, navigated them through each obstacle. She even befriended a giant firefly, who lit their way through the dark tunnels inside the volcano. "This is incredible!" Leah exclaimed, gazing in awe at the glowing crystals that lined the tunnel walls. The heat was intense, but Leah's determination didn't waver. She wouldn't let the Luminos down. They finally reached the heart of Mount Ignis. The air crackled with energy. Before them stood the eternal flame, now just a flicker. Leah's heart sank. It was weaker than she imagined, but she wouldn't give up hope. She had come too far. "We can do this," she whispered, more to herself than to her canine companions. Bastien barked in agreement, sensing her determination. Boudreaux nudged her hand with his wet nose, offering his silent support. Section 7. Facing the Lava Serpent. As Leah approached the eternal flame, a fearsome creature emerged from the molten lava. It was a giant serpent, its scales glowing with an infernal light. It hissed, its forked tongue tasting the air. "Protect the eternal flame!" a Luminos shouted, his voice filled with fear. Leah knew what she had to do. She grabbed a piece of glowing crystal, focusing all her energy into it. The crystal flared, transforming into a blazing sword. The lava serpent lunged, but Leah was ready. She dodged its fiery breath, her heart pounding. Bastien barked ferociously, distracting the creature. Boudreaux, surprisingly agile for his size, snapped at the serpent's tail. Leah saw her chance. With a swift, powerful movement, she struck the lava serpent's head. The creature roared in pain before dissolving into a cloud of ash. Leah, exhausted but triumphant, stumbled towards the eternal flame. She held up the glowing crystal, pouring all her remaining energy into it. The flame sputtered, then roared back to life, bathing the chamber in its warm glow. They had done it! Section 8. Celebration and a Crystalline Gift. The Luminos cheered, their voices echoing through the chamber. "You have saved us, brave Leah," the emerald-scaled Luminos exclaimed, his eyes shining with gratitude. Leah, exhausted but exhilarated, smiled. Bastien and Boudreaux barked happily, their tails wagging furiously. They were heroes. A grand feast was held in their honor. The Luminos showered them with gifts, including a beautiful crystalline orb for Leah. "This orb will allow you to travel to any planet you desire," the sapphire-scaled Luminos explained. Leah gasped. "Thank you," she whispered, her voice filled with awe. This was the greatest gift she could have received. They spent the rest of the day celebrating with the Luminos. Leah learned about their culture and customs. Bastien and Boudreaux, showered with affection and treats, were in doggy heaven. As the celebrations drew to a close, Leah knew it was time to return home, but she would never forget her Venusian adventure or the friends she made. Section 9. Homeward Bound and Beyond. With heartfelt goodbyes, Leah, Bastien and Boudreaux boarded their spaceship. They took one last look at the shimmering landscape of Venus. "Thank you," Leah whispered, her hand resting on the crystalline orb. She knew she would cherish this experience forever. As they soared through space, Leah couldn't help but smile. She had a feeling this wouldn't be their last adventure. The universe was vast, filled with endless possibilities. And with the crystalline orb, she and her furry companions could explore it all. Leah glanced at Bastien and Boudreaux, both sound asleep, and chuckled. They were going to need a lot more treats for their next adventure. Where would they go next? Mars? Jupiter? The possibilities were endless.